There is no situation so dark, no obstacle so great that God cannot make a way. What seems impossible to the human mind is but an opportunity for divine intervention. The walls that stand before you, the chains that bind you, the mountains that block your path, none of these can withstand the power of faith. When you believe, truly believe, the way will appear and what seemed immovable will dissolve before your eyes. The physical world reflects the inner world. If you see only obstacles, it is because your inner vision is clouded with doubt and fear. But when you awaken to the truth that God has already provided the way, even before you ask, your reality begins to shift. The Red Sea did not part when the Israelites stood in fear. It parted when they moved forward in faith. Their deliverance was waiting, but they had to take the first step. Yet though it is with you, the way is already made, but you must step into it. You are not trapped. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. The very moment you turn inward and surrender your struggle to God, a shift begins. It may not be visible to the natural eye, but deep within, the divine forces are rearranging circumstances, opening doors, and making the impossible possible. The prison you feel locked in is not real. It is the illusion of limitation. God does not see barriers, only possibilities. When you align with His vision, your world will transform. Do not wait for proof before you believe. Believe and the proof will follow. When you accept that God is working behind the scenes, preparing the perfect outcome, your fear loses its power. The walls of Jericho did not crumble because of human effort. They fell because faith demanded it. Speak to your mountain with unwavering certainty, and it will move. It is not your struggle that brings victory, but your absolute trust in the divine. God's way is not always revealed in advance. Often it unfolds step by step, each moment leading to the next in perfect order. Your task is not to figure out how it will happen, but to know that it already has. When you declare with full conviction that your path is clear, you will begin to see signs of its manifestation. The phone call, the opportunity, the unexpected help, it will come, and it will come at the perfect time. What once seemed like a dead end will become a passage. The sickness, the financial crisis, the heartbreak, these are not the end of your story. They are the moments before the breakthrough. When all seems lost, when every door appears shut, that is the exact moment God steps in. His ways are higher, His methods beyond comprehension, but His promise is unshakable. He will make a way where there is no way. It does not matter how long you have waited or how impossible it seems. The God who formed the stars, who commanded the light to shine from darkness, is the same God who is working in your life now. Open your heart, trust completely, and watch as the way is revealed before you. The breakthrough is already happening. The miracle is already on its way. Believe it, receive it, and walk forward in faith. There is a divine intelligence at work in your life, orchestrating every event, every circumstance, every so-called delay, to bring about a result far greater than you can imagine. When you stand at the edge of despair, thinking there is no way forward, that is the moment when the unseen hand of God is preparing your deliverance. The human mind sees limitations, but the spirit within you knows no boundaries. What appears to be an impossible situation is merely the unfolding of a divine plan you have yet to comprehend. You may be asking, how can I move forward when every door is closed? But the truth is, no door is ever truly shut to those who walk in faith. The obstacles you see are the illusions of the physical world, shaped by doubt, fear, and the belief in limitation. But the moment you shift your perception and recognize that God has already made a way, your reality begins to change. It does not matter how severe the situation appears. It does not matter if you have been told there is no hope. The world may say no, but God always says yes to those who align with His truth. The first step in seeing the way out of your impossible situation is to stop looking at the problem and start looking within. The answer is not in the struggle, not in the endless worrying, not in the desperate search for solutions. The answer is in the stillness, in the quiet confidence that God is already moving on your behalf. The moment you accept this, the burden lifts. You no longer carry the weight of uncertainty, for you understand that divine order is working in ways beyond human understanding. God does not require your effort. He requires your trust. The walls of Jericho did not fall because of human strength, but because of obedience to divine instructions. The sea did not part because of panic, but because of unwavering faith. Your situation, no matter how dire, is no different. The moment you stop wrestling with it and surrender it completely to God, things begin to shift. Solutions arise where there were none. A way forward appears in the midst of chaos. The prison doors swing open, not because you forced them, but because divine power has commanded it. Faith is not just believing that God exists. It is knowing that He is active in your life right now. It is the deep, unshakable conviction that even in the silence, even when nothing seems to be happening, the way is being prepared. The caterpillar may feel trapped in darkness, unaware that transformation is taking place, but in perfect timing, the cocoon breaks and it emerges as a butterfly. So it is with you. Your struggle is not permanent. What appears to be an ending is merely the preparation for a glorious new beginning. There is no situation too complex for God to resolve. There is no sickness He cannot heal, no loss He cannot restore, no door He cannot open. The key is not to ask how it will happen, but to trust that it already has. When you pray, do not plead as if you are separate from the answer. Instead, declare with confidence that your way is clear, that the impossible is being made possible, that you are walking in divine favor. Speak as though the problem is already solved, and watch as reality conforms to your faith. Your words carry power. Every thought, every declaration, every emotion shapes the world around you. When you declare that you are stuck, you reinforce that reality. When you affirm that nothing is working, you align yourself with struggle. But the moment you shift your words and declare that God is making a way, that miracles are unfolding, that doors are opening, everything begins to change. It is not magic. It is divine law. The moment you see beyond the illusion of limitation, the prison doors swing open. The chains fall off, and you step into the freedom that was yours all along. Do not let fear dictate your vision. Fear will always show you walls, closed doors, and reasons why you cannot move forward. But faith reveals the path beneath your feet, the light in the darkness, the invisible hand guiding you. The moment you choose to see through the eyes of faith, your entire world shifts. What once seemed like a dead end becomes a gateway to greater blessings. The pain you endured becomes the foundation of your strength. The delay you resented becomes the very thing that positioned you for something greater. The world will tell you that you need proof before you believe, but God tells you to believe before you see. This is the essence of faith. When the Israelites were told to march around Jericho, there was no visible sign that the walls would fall. When Jesus told the sick to rise, there was no physical evidence that healing had occurred until they obeyed. Your breakthrough is waiting for you to step into it, to act as if the way is already made. The moment you walk in the certainty of divine provision, miracles unfold before you. Your impossible situation is not meant to break you. It is meant to awaken you. It is meant to lift you beyond human reasoning and into the realm of divine understanding. Every great victory comes after a moment that seemed insurmountable. Every answered prayer comes after a season of waiting. But those who refuse to give in to doubt, those who stand firm in the conviction that God is making a way, will always see the impossible bow before them. Do not measure your future by what your physical eyes see. What you see is temporary, but the unseen is eternal. The delays, the struggles, the closed doors, they are not permanent. The moment you stop fighting against them and start trusting in divine order, they lose their hold on you. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are not at the mercy of external conditions. You are a child of the Most High, and He has declared that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. No obstacle can stand before the power of God working within you. The answer is already here. The way is already made. The miracle is already unfolding. Do not wait for the evidence to believe. Believe now, and the evidence will follow. Speak as if the victory is already won, and you will walk into it. Move forward with absolute confidence, knowing that the hand of God is clearing the path before you. What once seemed impossible is bowing to the power of faith. Your breakthrough is inevitable. Your way is opening. Walk boldly, for God is leading you into something greater than you have ever imagined. There is no obstacle that can withstand the power of faith. What seems like an impossible situation to you is already being worked out by divine hands. You may look around and see no way forward, but that does not mean the way is not there. It simply means you have not yet aligned yourself with the vision of God. When you stop relying on your own understanding and surrender to His higher wisdom, you will see what was hidden from you before. The walls before you are not real in the eyes of God. They are only as strong as your belief in them. The moment you believe in the way instead of the obstacle, the way will reveal itself to you. You may be surrounded by circumstances that tell you there is no way out. The bills are piling up. The diagnosis is grim. The opportunities seem scarce. Every direction you turn, you see resistance. But that is not the final word. The physical world is not the ultimate reality. It is merely a reflection of the state of your faith. If you accept what you see as permanent, you close yourself off to the miracle. But the moment you declare that God has already made a way, even before you see it, the foundation of your circumstances begins to shift. The unseen forces of the divine begin to move on your behalf, aligning events, opening doors, preparing a breakthrough that will come in ways you never expected. You must choose today whether you will believe in the problem or the promise. The problem shouts at you, demanding your attention, pulling you into fear and doubt. But the promise whispers in your heart, steady and unshaken, reminding you that God never fails. Every miracle begins with someone who refuses to accept the limitations of the world. Every breakthrough happens when someone decides that faith is stronger than fear. The Red Sea did not part for those who stood still in doubt. It parted for those who stepped forward despite their fear. You must do the same. You must walk as if the way is already made, and you will find that it is. Faith is not passive. It is not sitting back and waiting for a sign. Faith is action. It is speaking the victory before it happens. It is walking as though the walls have already fallen. It is rejoicing before the miracle arrives. When you align yourself with this truth, when you live as if the way is already open, you invite the impossible to bow before you. The world responds to what you believe, not to what you wish for. If you believe in lack, you will see lack. If you believe in struggle, you will see struggle. But if you believe that God has already provided, your reality will begin to mirror that truth. God's way is never the way of the world. The world tells you that you need resources before you move forward, that you need evidence before you believe. But God says, believe first, and the evidence will follow. The world tells you to fear the unknown, but God tells you that He has already gone ahead of you to prepare the path. The world tells you that you are trapped, but God tells you that you are already free. Which voice will you listen to? The moment you choose to trust in divine provision over human limitation, you step into a reality where miracles are not only possible, they are inevitable. There is no delay in divine timing. What appears to be a delay is often preparation. The seed does not break the ground the moment it is planted. It grows in silence in the unseen realm until the moment comes when it bursts forth into the light. So it is with your breakthrough. Just because you do not see movement does not mean nothing is happening. Trust that every prayer has been heard, every step of faith has been noted, and every obstacle is already being dismantled in ways you cannot yet see. Fear will always try to convince you that you are alone, that no one sees your struggle, that nothing will change. But that is the greatest lie of all. You are not alone. You have never been alone. Even in your darkest hour, the divine presence has been guiding you, whispering to you, making a way where there seemed to be none. The battle is not yours to fight. It is already won. The moment you stop fighting and start trusting, the battle dissolves. The moment you let go of worry and hold on to faith, the answers come. The moment you stop looking at the impossibility and start declaring that God is making a way, you step into the reality of the miracle. Do not wait for the situation to change before you believe. Believe now and the situation will change. Do not wait for the breakthrough to rejoice. Rejoice now and the breakthrough will manifest. Everything is unfolding according to divine order. Nothing is out of place. Every closed door, every delay, every difficulty is positioning you for something greater than you can imagine. Your part is not to figure out how it will happen. Your part is to stand in unwavering faith, knowing that it already has. The greatest transformations happen when you surrender completely to divine will. When you release the need to control, the need to understand, the need to see immediate results, you allow God to work freely in your life. There is nothing outside of His reach. There is no challenge too great, no burden too heavy, no path too lost for Him to restore. When you align yourself with divine truth, you become unstoppable. No force of darkness can stand against the light within you. No limitation can remain when you declare that God is your source. No fear can hold you when you walk in the assurance that all things are working together for your good. Your mind may tell you that your situation is too difficult, that your past mistakes have disqualified you, that you have waited too long, but none of that is true. There is no situation beyond redemption. There is no failure that cannot be turned into victory. There is no loss that cannot be restored. The moment you accept that God's power is greater than any challenge you face, your circumstances begin to align with that truth. The healing begins. The opportunities arise. The doors that were once locked begin to swing open effortlessly. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are standing at the threshold of a miracle, and all that is required of you is faith. Speak as if it is already done. Walk as if the way is already open. Rejoice as if the answer has already arrived. The power of God is moving in ways you cannot see, working through situations you thought were hopeless, bringing you closer to the breakthrough that has already been set in motion. Stand firm. Do not waver. Do not be moved by what your eyes see, but by what your heart knows to be true. The way is open. The answer is here. Your victory is certain. Keep moving forward, for the impossible has already been made possible. Your reality is not shaped by what is happening around you. It is shaped by what is happening within you. Every limitation you see in your life is only a reflection of the limitations you have accepted in your mind. The moment you change your belief, the moment you declare that God has already made a way, the barriers begin to fall. You are not bound by circumstances. You are not trapped by what appears to be an impossible situation. You are being prepared for something greater. What looks like a dead end is only the foundation for a divine breakthrough. The delay is not denial. It is alignment. The waiting is not punishment. It is preparation. You may feel that time is running out, that you have been waiting for too long, that nothing is changing. But the truth is, the moment you plant the seed of faith, the harvest begins to form in the unseen. You do not need to know how it will happen. You only need to know that it will. The same power that parted the Red Sea, the same power that made water flow from a rock, the same power that multiplied 5 loaves and 2 fish to feed thousands, is the power working in your life right now. It does not matter what the world says is possible. It only matters what God has already declared. Every time you declare that there is no way, you limit yourself from seeing the way that is already before you. Every time you speak defeat, you align yourself with the very obstacles that are trying to hold you back. But the moment you speak in faith, the moment you declare that God has already provided, the moment you walk as if the answer is already here, the impossible begins to move. Doors you never knew existed will open. People you have never met will be positioned to help you. Resources you never expected will find their way to you. The whole universe will shift to make room for the manifestation of what you have believed. God does not need logic to work a miracle. He does not need perfect conditions. He does not need human approval. He does not need the situation to make sense. When He says it is done, it is done. Your only task is to align yourself with that truth. You do not need to struggle. You do not need to fight against what is unfolding. All you need to do is surrender in faith, to trust in the unseen, to know with absolute certainty that the way is already made. The biggest enemy of your breakthrough is doubt. The moment you entertain doubt, you begin to undo the work that has already begun. The moment you let fear take root, you delay what has already been set in motion. But when you stand firm, when you refuse to be moved by what your eyes see, when you hold on to faith even in the midst of uncertainty, nothing can stop what God has ordained for you. Every great move of God begins with someone who dares to believe when everything around them says otherwise. You do not need to wait until everything is perfect to act as if your prayer has been answered. You do not need to wait until you see evidence before you celebrate. You must rejoice now. You must walk now. You must act as if it is already done now, because in the realm of divine, it is already finished. The moment you align yourself with that reality, the manifestation follows. There are no limits in God. There are no restrictions. There are no impossible situations. What seems like an end to you is only the beginning of something greater. What seems like a loss is only a setup for restoration beyond what you can imagine. Your part is not to worry about how it will happen. Your part is to believe, to trust, to stand firm, to hold on to the promise even when everything around you contradicts it. Do not let the voices of fear drown out the voice of truth. Do not let the opinions of others shake your faith. Do not let temporary struggles make you forget that your victory is eternal. Everything that you are facing right now is preparing you for something beyond what you can comprehend. Every challenge, every delay, every closed door is working together to bring you into alignment with the breakthrough that is already yours. Stop looking at what is missing and start thanking God for what is already done. Stop waiting for signs and start declaring that the way is already made. Stop doubting and start walking as if it is already yours. The power that created the universe is the power that is working in you now. There is nothing too great, nothing too difficult, nothing too far gone for God to restore, renew, and transform. Your situation is not permanent. Your struggle is not eternal. Your circumstances are not the final say. The final say belongs to the one who created all things, and He has declared you are victorious. He has declared that the way is open. He has declared that you are already free. Walk in that truth, live in that truth, declare that truth, and watch as the impossible bends before the power of your faith. It does not matter what the world says. It does not matter what statistics say. It does not matter what the odds are. When God speaks, everything shifts. When God moves, no force in the universe can stand against it. When God opens a door, no one can shut it. And He is opening doors for you right now in ways you cannot yet see, in places you never expected, through paths you never imagined. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not without a way. The way is already before you. Step into it with confidence. Believe in it with all your heart. Speak it into existence. Rejoice as if it is already done, because it is. You are not meant to live in limitation. You are not meant to be bound by circumstances. The same power that spoke the world into existence is the power that is breathing life into your situation right now. There is no need to struggle. There is no need to worry. There is only the need to trust that the way has already been made. The moment you shift your awareness from lack to abundance, from fear to faith, from impossibility to certainty, the reality around you will conform. The world is only a reflection of what you accept as true. If you accept struggle, you will experience struggle. If you accept delay, you will experience delay. But if you accept that God has already made a way, then no force in existence can block what is meant for you. Every time you wake up and say, "I don't see a way," you are reinforcing the illusion of limitation. Every time you declare, "Nothing is working out for me," you are aligning yourself with delay. But the moment you say, "God has already provided," the moment you say, "My way is already open," the moment you act as if your blessing is already here, the world must respond. You do not need to force it. You do not need to chase it. You only need to align yourself with it. There is no power in the universe greater than the power that resides within you. That power does not beg. That power does not struggle. That power simply speaks, and it is done. You may think you are waiting on God, but God is waiting on you to step out in faith, waiting on you to believe without doubting, waiting on you to walk as if the promise is already fulfilled. Too many people wait for conditions to change before they believe. They wait for signs before they act. But the divine does not work that way. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That means you must have the evidence in your heart before you see it in the physical world. You must rejoice before the miracle manifests. You must move before the door opens. You must prepare as if the answer has already arrived. If you truly knew that your breakthrough was guaranteed, how would you act? If you truly believed that your prayer had already been answered, how would you live? Would you worry? Would you stress? Would you doubt? No, you would move in confidence. You would wake up with peace. You would walk in joy. You would speak with certainty. That is the secret. That is the key, to live as if it is already done. Because in the unseen realm, it is. God does not operate by human logic. He does not need resources to be in place before He blesses you. He does not need conditions to be perfect before He moves. He does not need approval from anyone to bring your vision to life when He declares it is already complete. But you must step into that completion with faith. The moment you begin to waver, the moment you begin to question, the moment you allow fear to creep in, you slow down the manifestation of what is already yours. But when you stand firm, when you refuse to accept anything less than the promise, when you declare without hesitation that the way is open, there is no force that can stop what has already been decreed. People may look at your situation and say it is impossible. They may tell you to be realistic, to accept what they see as the truth. But what they see is not the final reality. What they see is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. Your future is shaped not by what has been, but by what you now choose to believe. The world has no power over you. Circumstances have no authority over your destiny. The only thing that matters is what you accept in your heart as true. When you know without a doubt that your way is open, then it must be so. Too many people give up too soon. They pray for a miracle, but when they do not see immediate results, they let doubt creep in. They allow their current reality to dictate their faith. But faith is not about seeing, it is about knowing. Faith does not say, "I will believe when I see it." Faith says, "I believe it, and because I believe it, I will see it." That is the divine law. That is the unshakable truth. Everything that exists was once unseen. Every breakthrough, every blessing, every miracle was once a thought, a belief, a certainty in someone's heart before it manifested in the physical world. You must stop looking at your situation through the eyes of limitation. You must stop measuring your future by what is happening now. You must stop allowing your faith to waver because of temporary conditions. The moment you say God has already made a way and you refuse to accept anything else, the way begins to reveal itself. It may not come how you expect. It may not unfold the way you plan, but it will come. It must come. That is divine law. That is spiritual truth. God is not bound by time. He is not limited by human understanding. He is not restricted by natural laws. What seems impossible to man is nothing to God. What seems too far gone to the world is nothing in the hands of the Creator. There are no closed doors in God's kingdom. There are no barriers too strong for His power. There are no situations beyond His ability to change. The moment He speaks reality, the moment He moves, all opposition crumbles. The moment He declares it is finished, you are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not trapped. The way is already made. The answer is already here. The blessing is already released. You must align yourself with this truth. You must reject every thought that contradicts it. You must silence every voice that speaks against it. You must declare with absolute certainty that God has already done it. And as you walk in that faith, as you move with that assurance, as you live in that conviction, you will see the impossible bow before you. There is no situation too big for the power of God to transform. No obstacle is permanent unless you believe it is. What seems like an impossible wall before you is nothing but an illusion waiting to be dissolved by faith. The moment you stop agreeing with limitation, it loses its grip. The moment you decide that you will no longer accept struggle as your portion, the doors begin to open. You do not need to know how. You do not need to figure it out. That is not your job. Your job is to believe. Your job is to declare that the way is already made. Your job is to move in expectation, not hesitation. When you do this, the mountains move, the rivers part, and the barriers that once held you back crumble before you. Do not let circumstances dictate your faith. Do not let what you see with your physical eyes convince you that things are not changing. There is more happening in the unseen realm than you realize. Just because you cannot see it does not mean it is not unfolding. The seeds of your breakthrough have already been planted. The shift has already begun. You are not waiting for God to move. He has already moved. The only thing left is for you to align yourself with His truth and receive what has already been prepared for you. Doubt is the only thing that can delay what is already yours. Fear is the only thing that can keep you in the same place. The moment you release all hesitation, the moment you stand firm in your knowing, the unseen begins to take form. Everything in life follows the law of faith. If you believe you are stuck, you will stay stuck. If you believe things are getting worse, they will. But if you believe that your breakthrough is inevitable, if you declare that your blessing is already here, if you walk as if you are already free, then freedom must manifest. It does not matter how long you have been waiting. It does not matter how many times you have tried before. It does not matter what anyone else says. What matters is what you decide right now. Will you continue to allow fear to dictate your life? Will you continue to believe in impossibility? Or will you step into the power that has been given to you, the power to shape your reality, the power to command things to shift, the power to stand firm and know that what has been promised cannot be denied? Many people wait for a sign before they believe. They wait for doors to open before they take a step. But faith does not wait. Faith does not hesitate. Faith moves forward even when there is no visible path. That is the secret. That is how mountains move. You must act as if the way is already open. You must speak as if the answer is already here. You must walk as if the victory has already been won. Because the truth is it has. The moment you align with this, everything changes. Thought is not limited by time, and neither are you. What may seem like delay is only an illusion. What may seem like an obstacle is only a test of your faith. The moment you shift your perspective, the moment you see beyond the physical and into the unseen, you will realize that nothing has ever been withheld from you. The only thing that was missing was your alignment with it. The moment you stop asking how and simply trust that it is done, the way is revealed. You do not need permission to step into your blessing. You do not need approval from anyone to walk into what has already been promised to you. The only thing you need is the certainty that it is already yours. Speak, declare it. Stand in it. No more waiting, no more wondering, no more doubting. The way is open. The path is clear. Now walk in it with full confidence, knowing that nothing can stop what God has already set in motion. You are not here by accident. You are not in this moment by chance. Every challenge you have faced, every hardship you have endured, has brought you to this exact place, and in this place you have a choice. Will you continue to believe in struggle, in lack, in limitation, or will you open your heart to the truth that has been waiting for you all along? The truth that you were never meant to suffer, the truth that you were never meant to be stuck, the truth that the door was always open, but you had to believe it to see it. God is not withholding anything from you. There is no force working against you, no unseen enemy keeping you bound. The only chains that exist are the ones you have accepted. The only barriers in your way are the ones you have agreed to. The moment you reject them, they lose all power. The moment you decide that you will no longer live according to struggle, everything shifts. You do not need to earn your freedom. You do not need to prove your worthiness. You were already chosen. You were already approved. The moment you accept this, the moment you walk in it with unwavering faith, everything must align with the truth you have. You may look at your situation and think, but I have tried before, I have prayed before, I have believed before, and nothing changed. But that is not true. Everything changes the moment you decide it has changed. The moment you declare with complete certainty that your breakthrough is already here, it must manifest. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Because the only time that exists in the realm of faith is now. When you say, one day I will be free, you are pushing your freedom into the future. When you say, one day my situation will change, you are delaying the very blessing that is already available to you. But when you say, it is done, it is mine, the way is open now, the entire universe responds, everything rearranges itself to match the truth you have claimed. You are more powerful than you've been told. You are more capable than you have believed. The authority to change your life has been in your hands all along. You do not need external proof. You do not need anyone to validate your faith. You simply need to stand in it, speak as if it is already done, move as if the path is already clear, feel as if you have already received it, and watch as the impossible bends to your belief. God has always made a way. He has never failed. There has never been a situation too great, a challenge too overwhelming, a problem too complicated for Him to solve. But the way is only revealed to those who trust. The way is only visible to those who refuse to be swayed by fear. That is why faith is not just a concept, it is a law. The law that governs all things. The law that says what you believe you will receive, what you expect you will experience, what you claim you will see. The greatest trap is waiting for things to change before you believe they have changed. That is not faith. That is doubt disguised as patience. Faith does not wait for evidence. Faith does not wait for permission. Faith moves forward as if the way is already made, and in doing so, it creates the very reality it expects. This is how miracles happen. This is how breakthroughs unfold, not by waiting, not by hoping, but by knowing. The moment you stop seeking signs and start living in certainty, everything shifts. The moment you stop asking for proof and start walking in expectation, doors open. You do not need to beg for what is already yours. You do not need to plead for what has already been promised. You only need to rise up in full confidence. knowing that the impossible has already been made possible. And walk in that truth. Doubt will try to creep in. Fear will try to whisper lies. Your physical reality may still show signs of struggle, but none of that matters. What matters is your inner state. What matters is what you hold on to in your heart, because your reality is only a reflection of what you believe most deeply. And the moment you shift your belief, your reality must follow. There is no need to struggle. There is no need to force anything. The moment you surrender to the truth that is already done, peace washes over you. Worry disappears. Anxiety fades. Because you are no longer hoping, you are knowing. You are no longer waiting, you are receiving. You are no longer lost, you are found. Everything is aligning for your good. Every closed door was protection. Every delay was preparation. Every challenge was shaping you. And now the time has come. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. The way is open. The impossible is being undone. The only thing left is for you to step forward in absolute faith, knowing that you are already standing in your answered prayer. Stand firm in the knowing that God has already made a way for you. There is no need to wait, no need to question, no need to doubt. The moment you align with the truth that your breakthrough is here, it must manifest. Walk with confidence, speak with certainty, and move as if every obstacle has already been removed. The impossible is only impossible to the mind that refuses to believe, but to the one who stands in unwavering faith, all things are possible. Your blessing is not in the future. It is now. Your freedom is not on the way. It is here. Trust it, claim it, and walk boldly into the life that has already been prepared for you. Many of you may think of it as a technique or a mental exercise, but I tell you now, living in the end is far more profound. It is the assumption of the feeling of your wish fulfilled, the embodiment of your desire as a present fact rather than a future possibility. The secret to instant manifestation lies in this simple yet powerful truth. Your imagination is the created power of the universe, and what you assume to be true will invariably manifest in your reality. This is not metaphor or allegory, but the very foundation of existence itself. You are not merely experiencing reality, you are creating it every moment to the power of your assumptions and beliefs. Now you might be wondering, Wayne, if this is true, why am I not already living my ideal life? And therein lies the crux of our discussion today. Most people live their lives in anticipation, always looking to the future for the fulfillment of their desires. They say, I will be happy when, or I will feel successful once. But in doing so, they push their desires perpetually into the future, never to be realized in the present moment. Living in the end, however, requires a fundamental shift in consciousness. It demands that you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Now, in this very moment, regardless of your current circumstances, it is the art of making your future dream a present fact in your mind, so convinced that it's reality that you has no choice but to conform to this illicit. You see, the world you experience is not happening to you. It is happening from you. Every circumstance, every event, every interaction in your life is a reflection of your inner state. These are not random occurrences, but they are picturing of your assumptions and beliefs. When you truly grasp this, you understand the immense power you hold to shape your reality. So how? We begin this process of living in the end. The first step is to clearly define your desire. What is it that you wish to manifest? Be specific. Don't simply say, I want to be successful. Instead, imagine in vivid detail what your life looks like when you are living your ideal ideality. How do you feel? What are you doing? How do you? Your time, the more specific and detail your vision, the more real it becomes in your mind. Once you have this clear vision, the next step is to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. This is crucial. You must feel the reality of your desire now, not in some distant future. Remember, your subconscious mind doesn't understand time. It only understands the present moment. So if you constantly feel that you're desired something in the future, it will always remain in the future. It's dead. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled now. How would you feel if your design were already realized? Would you feel joyful, confident, free, grateful? Embody these feelings live from this state of being. This is not pretending or lying to yourself. This is assuming a new state of consciousness, which is the very essence of creation. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Nebel, How can I feel something that isn't yet true? This is where the power of your imagination comes into play. Your imagination is the bridge between your current reality and your desired state. It is through your imagination that you can step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even before it manifests in the physical world. Your imagination is not a flight of fancy or a frivolous faculty. It is the very workshop wherein you fashion your future. When you imagine you are experiencing reality at its most fundamental level, you are engaging with the pure potential of consciousness, shaping it with your attention and your assumption to use your imagination effectively for living. In the end, you must first quiet your conscious mind, the chattering of your daily thoughts, your worries, your doubts. These must be silenced. Enter a state of relaxation, a state akin to sleep, but in which you remain consciously aware. In this state, your subconscious mind becomes more receptive to impression. Once in this relaxed state, construct your scene. This scene should be one that implies the fulfillment of your desire. If your desire is for successful career, you might imagine yourself in your ideal office or receiving congratulations from colleagues. If it's financial abundance, you imagine yourself looking at your bank statement with joy and gratitude. The scene itself should be short and simple. It's not about creating an elaborate story, but about capturing a moment that implies your desire is now a fact. This scene is your platform, the stage upon which you will enact the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Now step into this scene. Don't watch it as a spectator, but experience it from the first-person perspective. Be there in that moment. And as you experience it, let the feeling of fulfillment wash over you. Feel the gratitude, the joy, the satisfaction of having your desire realized. This is where many faltering their attempts at living. In the end, they can see the scene clearly, but they fail to evoke the feeling. Remember, it's a feeling that gives life to your imaginal acts. Without feeling, visualization is merely a mental exercise with feeling. It becomes an act of creation. As you practice this, you may find that the feeling comes more easily with repetition. Each time you return to your scene, the feeling becomes more vivid, more real. This is good. You are strengthening the impression upon your subconscious mind. But here's a crucial point. Once you have evoked the feeling, once you have impressed it upon your subconscious, you must carry it with you into your waking life. This is where true living in the end begins. It's not enough to feel your desire fulfilled during your imaginal sessions. You must maintain this feeling throughout your day and every moment. To live in the end, to manifest instantly, you must maintain the feeling of wish fulfilled. Even in the face of contradictory evidence, this is where faith comes in, not blind faith, but faith born of understanding. Understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state. When you truly grasp this, you will no longer be swayed by appearances. You will know that what you see around you is the effect, not the cause. The cause lies in your consciousness, in your feeling, and as you persist in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your outer world must reshape itself to match this inner conviction. What? Let us address a common challenge in living in the end, the apparent contradictions of your senses as you begin to live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You may find that your current circumstances seem to contradict your assumptions. How do you maintain your feeling in the face of these seeming contradictions? This is where the art of ignoring comes into play. To ignore is not to deny the existence of something, but to refrain from giving it your attention and energy. When contradictory evidence appears, acknowledge it briefly. Then immediately return your attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Remember, what you see in your outer world is the result of past assumptions, past feelings. It is like an echo. What you once believed, your task now is to give more attention, more importance, more reality to your new assumption than to these outdated circumstances. This practice requires mental discipline. It requires you to stand firm in your new assumption, even when your senses argue against it. But remember, your senses only show you what has been, not what can be. Your imagination, informed by your feeling, shows you what would be. As you persist in maintaining the feeling of your wish fulfilled, even in the face of contradictory evidence, you will begin to see changes in your outer world. These changes may start small, a fortunate coincidence, an unexpected opportunity, a shift in someone's behavior towards you. Do not dismiss these as mere chance. They are the first fruits of your new assumption taking root. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of feeling and living in the end. When I speak of feeling, I am not referring merely to emotions. Though emotions play a part, I am speaking of a deeper sense unknowing, an unshakable conviction. It is the difference between, say, I want to be successful, and knowing in the very core of your being I am successful. This feeling conviction is not something you can fake or force. It arises naturally when you have successfully impressed your desire upon your subconscious mind. This is why the repeated use of your imagination is so crucial. Each time you return to your imaginal scene, each time you step into the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are deepening this impression. Think of it like wearing a groove in a record. The first time you play the record, the needle may skip and jump, but with repeated plays the groove deepens and the music plays smoothly. Similarly, as you repeat your imaginal act, the feeling becomes more natural, more habitual. It becomes your dominant state. This is the state from which instant manifestation occurs when you can maintain this feeling conviction throughout your day, when it becomes as natural as breathing. You have mastered the art of living. In the end, your outer world has no choice but to conform to this inner state. But one of those moments when doubt creeps in, when fear arises, when the old patterns of thought and feeling try to reassert themselves, these moments are inevitable, especially in the beginning of your practice. Do not be discouraged by them. Instead, see them as opportunities to strengthen your new assumption. When doubt arises, do not fight it. Fighting against a thought only gives it more power. Instead, gently but firmly return to your feeling of wish fulfilled. Remind yourself that what you see around you is the past. Your new assumption, your new feeling, is creating your. This brings us to another crucial aspect of living, the end. The concept of naturalness, living in the end, should not feel forced or strange. It should feel as natural as breathing. When you truly assume the state of your wish fulfilled, you don't constantly think about your desire or obsess over its manifestation. You simply live from the state of having it as if it were the most natural thing in the world. For example, if your desire is for financial abundance, you wouldn't constantly think about money or worry about bills. A wealthy person doesn't do that. Instead, you would feel the ease and security that comes with abundance. You would make decisions from a place of plenty rather than lack. You would carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their needs are always met. This naturalness is key to instant manifestation. When you can assume your desired state with such ease and conviction that it feels like your normal everyday reality, that's when the magic happens. That's when your outer world begins to shift rapidly to match your inner state. Now let us address the role of action in living in the end. Some people mistakenly believe that living in the end means they should sit back and do nothing, waiting for their desire to magically appear. This is not the case. Living in the end does not negate action, it informs action. When you successfully impress your desire upon your subconscious mind, when you truly feel your wish fulfilled, you will be inspired to take actions that align with this day. These actions will feel natural, even inevitable. They will not be driven by fear, lack, but will flow from your assumed state of fulfillment. This is a crucial distinction. When you take action from a place of lack, trying to get what you desire, you are actually affirming the assumption of not having it. But when you take action from the assumption of already having it in your desire fulfilled, you open yourself to infinite possibilities for its expression and expansion. So do not neglect action, but ensure that your actions are aligned with and flowing from your assumed state. Let your feeling guide your actions rather than hoping your actions will create the feeling. This alignment of inner state and outer action is key to instant manifestation. Now let us explore the concept of detachment in relation to living in the end. The attachment doesn't mean you don't care about your desire. Rather, it means you're not anxiously attached to seeing immediate results or figuring out how your desire will manifest. When you're truly living in the end, you can imagine and feel your desire fulfilled without constantly looking for signs of its manifestation. You trust in the process, knowing that, as you maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, it must inevitably express itself in your outer world. Detachment allows you to live in the present moment while holding your assumed state. It frees you from the anxiety and doubt that can slow down the manifestation process. It allows you to enjoy the journey of manifestation rather than being solely focused on the destination. Practice detachment by reminding yourself that your imaginal act imbued with feeling is the reality. What you see in the outer world is just a shadow or reflection of past assumptions. As you persist in your new assumption, this shadow must change to match the new reality you're imagining and feeling. Let us now address the importance of gratitude in living. In the end, gratitude is not just a pleasant emotion. It is a powerful creative force. When you feel genuinely grateful, you are affirming that you already have what you desire. This aligns perfectly with the principle of living. The end, the game to cultivate an attitude of gratitude for your desire. Even before you see it manifested in your physical reality, be thankful for it as if it were already. Feel appreciation for the abundance that surrounds you in all forms. The air you breathe, the sun that shines, the food as you practice gratitude. You are assuming the state of someone who has their desire fulfilled. This assumption, persistently held, must manifest in your outer world as the realization of your desire. This is another key to instant manifestation. Now, let us explore the power of revision in living in the end. Revision is not merely about changing your memories or rewriting your past. It is about recognizing the past only exists in your mind, and therefore it can be changed in your mind. At the end of each day, take a few moments to review the events of your day. If there were any events that were not an item with your desired state, revise them in your imagination. See them unfolding in a way that aligns with your wish fulfilled. Feel the satisfaction, the joy, the fulfillment of this revised version of events. By doing this, you are not denying what physically happened. You are changing the impact of that event on your subconscious mind. You are impressing upon your subconscious a reality that aligns with your desires rather than one that contradicts them. As you make this practice of revision a habit, you will find that your reactions to current events begin to change. You'll become less reactive, more peaceful, more aligned with your desired states of being. This alignment accelerates the manifestation process, ensuring that you are consistently living in the end. Let us now discuss the importance of persistence in living in the end. While we speak of instant manifestation, it's important to understand that the speed of manifestation can vary. Some desires may manifest almost instantly, while others may take more time to fully materialize. In your physical reality, the key is to persist in your assumption, regardless of how long it seems to be taking. Remember, the outer world is a reflection of your inner state. If you're wavering, your assumption. If you lose faith in the process, you send mixed signals to your subconscious mind, which can slow down the manifestation process. Persistence doesn't mean forcing or struggling. It means consistently returning to feeling of your wish fulfill, even when the outer world seems to contradict it. It means choosing again and again to live from the end, to embody the state of having your desire realized. This persistence requires faith, not blind faith, but faith born of understanding. Understanding that your outer world is a reflection of your inner state, and that as you persist in your new assumption, your world must reshape itself to match. Now let us address the role of self-concept in living in the end. Your self-concept, the belief you hold about who you are, is perhaps the most powerful factor in determining what you can manifest in your life. Many people struggle to live in the end because their self-concept contradicts the state they're trying to assume. They may visualize well, but deep down, they don't believe they're the kind of person who can be wealthy. They may imagine a loving relationship, but fundamentally believe they're unworthy of love. To truly live in the end, you must be willing to revise your self-concept. This involves imagining and feeding yourself as the person who already has what you desire. It's not about creating a false image of yourself, but about recognizing and embracing your true, limitless nature. Remember, at your core, you are pure consciousness. You are not defined by your past experiences, your current circumstances, or the opinions of others. You are the awareness in which all these things. And this awareness, your true self, is infinite in its potential. As you use your imagination to assume your desired states, you are essentially recreating yourself. You are stepping into a new concept of self, a new understanding of who you are and what's possible for you. This revision of self-concept is crucial for living in the end. As you align your self-concept with your desires, you remove Adina contradictions that can slow down the manifestation process. Now let us explore the role of emotion in living in the end. Emotion is the fuel that powers your imaginal acts. It's not enough to merely visualize or think about your desires. You must feel them. When you combine vivid imagination with genuine emotion, you create a powerful impression on your subconscious mind. This is because your subconscious responds more strongly to feeling than to intellectual thought. The emotions you want to cultivate are those you would feel if your desire were already realized. If your desires for wealth feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with financial abundance. If it's a loving relationship you seek, feel the love, the connection, the companionship. These emotions should be so real, so intense, that when you open your eyes and return to your present circumstances, you carry with your sense of fulfillment, as if your desire has already been realized. This emotional component is what distinguishes effective living in the end from mere daydreaming or wishful thinking, when you can genuinely feel your desire as an accomplished. You are impressing it upon your subconscious mind as a reality. Your subconscious then works tirelessly to bring this feeling into physical manifestation, ensuring instant manifestation. As we near the conclusion of our exploration of living in the end, remember this. The power to manifest instantly lies within you. It resides in your ability to imagine vividly, to feel deeply, and to persist faithfully in the assumption of your wish fulfilled. The secret to instant manifestation is not determined by external factors, but by the intensity of your belief and the consistency of your imaginal acts. Go forth from here with this knowledge. Apply these principles in your daily life. Use your imagination consciously and deliberately to create scenes that imply the fulfillment of your desires. Feel the reality of your wish fulfilled with every fiber of your being. Persist in this feeling even when your senses deny it. For as you do, you are reshaping your entire world, manifesting your desires with the speed and precision that might seem miraculous to others. Remember, you are the operant power in your world. You are limited only by your ability to imagine and to feel the reality of your wishes fulfilled. Embrace this truth. Live from this understanding, and watch as your world transforms around you, reflecting the newfound mastery of your creative consciousness. Living in the end is not something external to you. It is not a technique or a trick. It is the fundamental truth of your being that you are the creator of your reality. As you align your thoughts, feelings, and assumptions with this truth, you step into a state of continuous creation, of perpetual manifestation. In your daily life, be vigilant. Be conscious of your thoughts, your feelings, your assumptions. Choose them wisely, for they are the seeds of your future experience. Let every thought be a thought of fulfillment, every feeling, a feeling of accomplishment, every assumption an assumption of your wish realized, for in doing so you are creating a life of instant manifestation as you embark on this journey of living in the end, of instant manifestation. Know that you are aligning yourself with the very power that creates worlds. You are stepping into your divine birthright. As a co-creator of reality, embrace this power. Use it wisely and let it guide you to the fulfillment and joy. Thank you, and may your journey of living in the end be filled with wonder, excitement, and the thrill of instant manifestation. Remember, the end you are living in is not a distant future, but a present reality in your consciousness from this moment forward. Live from that state, embody that reality, and watch as your world conforms to your empowered state of being. Go now and live in the end. All your desires fulfilled, for in that state you hold the key to instant manifestation, and the life be your wireless dreams.